Welcome back. More and more cities and towns are adding speed cameras on their roadways to try to slow traffic down and prevent accidents. Marlborough and Washington, Connecticut are two of the towns using them now.
On a fairly narrow two-lane road, a lot of people were going 45, 50, 55 miles an hour right through a crosswalk, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Old Litchfield, the high speed recorded was 83 miles an hour on a 30-mile-an-hour road. It's just, you can't have that.
Cameras involved. The cameras track a driver's speed, and if it's 10 or more miles over the posted limit, then a ticket is generated and sent to the vehicle's owner. Here to talk about how all this is working and the reaction of drivers through these towns are two local police chiefs. Joshua Bernegger is chief in Watertown and chair of the Connecticut Police Chief Association's Traffic Safety Committee. Erik Costa leads the Middletown force and is a member of the CPCA's Traffic Safety Committee as well. Chief, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Chief Bernegger, I want to start with you because you're sort of the overview of this from the Police Chiefs Association. The Chiefs Association supported this. Some people raised concerns about privacy, about how it would work, about safety. It's now in effect. Tell people what the program does and what it's designed to do.
Yeah, well, just to back up to COVID real quick, you know, as a state, as a country, when COVID was over, we saw driving behavior on our roads really degrade. And as police departments, we've been tasked with traffic enforcement, maintaining speed limits. And after COVID, police departments have also been faced with a very difficult time recruiting and retaining police officers. So speed cameras seem to be a common sense measure to conduct traffic enforcement as a force multiplier for us out on the roads.
And so the police chief supported it because it allowed for wider spread enforcement. What is it? Why was it so important to the police chiefs?
Yeah, when you look at our roads, and there's a particular area in our roads where accident volumes may be high, speeding incidents are very high. It may be a pedestrian corridor or school zone. If we put an officer out on a traffic detail they're one officer and can pull over one violator at a time, where a speed camera on the side of the road can both track and issue citations for every single vehicle that passes that camera that's violating that speed limit.
Well, let's talk about issuing those tickets. Chief Costa, you have these cameras in effect in your town. And the numbers, the Middletown Press wrote an article a month into the program, 10,000 tickets. It would add up when collected to 600,000 in fines, which of course is what gets the headlines. But what you want to talk about is the people who are getting notice that they have to slow down, right?
Right, and I think it goes with the culture of what the chiefs were looking for in the legislation. First of all, I want to say I thought the Capitol did a great job with building this law out and how it went into effect in regards to how DOT is implementing it through the permit process. But ultimately, it is a change of culture. We've seen a lot of dangerous driving, high-speed driving throughout our communities, not just on our highways, but our secondary roads as well. And I think, like the chief said, putting them in areas where of concern of high traffic volume, as well as high accidents, fatalities, serious injury crashes, it definitely helps reduce and become a force multiplier where you can't run radar 24 hours a day with an individual officer. The cost is just immense. The traffic cameras hold everybody accountable, but also there's psychology to it too. People understand that they're there. They take more attention, pay more attention inside the car. With all the technology in our new cars that we see nowadays, it's important to reset and have them understand that they have to be accountable for their driving actions, especially when it comes to speed.
We talked about 10,000 tickets having been issued. 7,000 drivers were tracked doing 25 miles an hour or above over the speed limit. Is that surprising to you as the police chief in Middletown? Extremely
surprising, because you take it, as a police chief, you take it more personally when you want to make sure that people are safe when driving through your city. I think when we saw those numbers come out initially after our first month of implementing the camera system, we knew we had a problem. We knew it was a significant problem, and we wanted to make sure that we promote the program to reinforce the safety that it's going to provide for our drivers.
Chief Bernegger, I want to ask you just about the legislative view of this. We had Dan Harr, the columnist from our partners at CT Insider, and he was previewing this bill, and he said something I keep thinking about with this. He said there was a pact between drivers and police that you could write me a ticket, but you have to catch me speeding. And that for years, that was kind of the deal. Like, I'll accept a ticket if you can catch me doing it. This changes those rules, and he said that's what some legislators were concerned about. How do you respond to people who say, you know, 10,000 tickets in Chief Costa's town, this is just a moneymaker, it's not a safety thing?
Well, I think you're going to hit a point in every community where the community realizes that cameras don't have discretion, and that if you speed past that camera, you're going to get a ticket. And that will eventually lead to a change in driver behavior. And that ultimately is what we are looking for with this program.
Chief Costa, have you seen it so far? You said you were surprised by how many people were doing 25 miles or more above the limit. Have you or your officers noticed, are people starting to ease off?
It's totally changed the culture and how they enter the city in Middletown on 66, where our cameras are located. We definitely see a clear, visible difference, and as well in the data that we're collecting, the decline in motor vehicle violations at that camera site.
And you have, I know, more sites coming near some schools in your town as well.
Correct. They're not online yet, but they will be in the turn of the school year.
How much of a talker is this, Chief Bernegger? I know, just in researching for this interview, I saw West Hartford coming up in 2 weeks has an open house. They're looking to do it, and they want input from the community on where to put cameras. Other towns doing similar things, saying, hey, let's get the people out and talk about this. Are all the chiefs around the state, is this a big talker for everybody?
Yeah, and I think Chief Costa could attest to the fact that as one of the front runners in the program, he's gotten a lot of interest from other police chiefs in how the program in Middletown is working. Because I can tell you in Watertown, I've had several of our local leaders in town call me asking my opinion on speed cameras and whether or not Watertown should be pursuing them. So there's a lot of interest out there, and as the press on these cameras continues to rise, you know, I think the tide here is coming up, and you're going to see a lot more in the state.
And I know you both have been clear that this is a public safety issue, not a moneymaker, but I know there are some rules for how the money's used, right? It then has to go back for transportation purposes, the money that's collected?
That's correct. The money that is collected it can help fund the program itself. It can go into transportation needs. Chief, you could probably speak more to the details.
The money is earmarked for improvements to road improvements, mobility improvements, which touches our ADA community as well, sidewalk improvements, new bike paths, reconfigurations of intersections that, you know, many of our cities are very old, such as Middletown's an older city. It's important for those redesigns, and there's funding there for that doesn't go so much onto the taxpayer on the daily tax roll.
In introducing this piece, we had some sound bites that our reporters got in different communities, and when our reporters were out in Marlboro, where they also have these, a couple people said it's not just that, they also need to raise the speed limits. They're too low. Do you get that at all in your city? I mean, 66 might be a place where people think they should be able to set the cruise control for 75 and zip on through your town. What do you say when someone raises that?
No, I think it comes down to is that the speed limits are there for a reason. There's engineering that goes behind the speed limits that are set around the state, not just in the city of Middletown. But my argument to that is, the cameras are there, it's well signed, well enforced, and people hopefully will follow the law that's already implemented. I don't think there's a need to increase speeds when there's something that's, put into place.
And in your town, this is not a secret. There's big signs saying, hey, speed camera coming. You're not trying to rack up tickets. You'd rather people just slow down.
No, and I think that goes back to the legislation. I think they did a great job with those requirements. 300 feet before the camera, putting signs out that are visible. Those things are definitely someone paying attention as they're driving through Middletown and will see that sign and understand the cameras are enforcing traffic.
Chief Costa, Chief Bernegger, thank you so much for being with us, and I think we'll be talking about this more as it expands across the state. Thanks for being here on CT 25.
Thank you. I appreciate it.